So the sequence that we're doing right now is a heart-opening prenatal sequence. And this can be done at any stage during your pregnancy if you're feeling healthy and you have the okay to exercise. This sequence is addressing the needs of the mom right now. So this isn't a sequence that you're going to necessarily take into your laboring space with you. You might use some of these things, but this isn't, the intention of this isn't to use in labor. The intention of it is to bring more vitality to your body, to your being, and also to baby's being. So as we're doing these heart openings, we'll really be focusing on the area of the heart, the home of prana, which is our vital life force. So that vital, vibrant energy that sustains and nourishes us all. So we'll really be focusing on that. And in this practice, you're going to need some props. You need a bolster or 2 bolsters, a blanket, 2 blocks, and a strap. You can use other things. If you don't have a strap, use a tie, use a belt, or a thin scarf. Blankets, use whatever kind of blankets you have. If you don't have a bolster, use pillows. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this sequence and it serves you well. So we can just start in a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. So we're in Sukhasana. And if that isn't comfy, just find a different posture where you have height under your hips so that your spine can be long and your heart can be open and your body relaxed. And then close your eyes, start to settle in, and just take a few moments to notice how you're sitting, to notice how you're breathing. And once you do, start to lengthen your breath, very gently at first, until you find a 1-to-1 ratio, just a smooth, easy breath. You might even visualize breathing down the baby. So you can feel the breath moving in all dimensions. Front, back, side to side. Full breath. And one of the concerns or complaints that we typically hear as prenatal teachers is that moms around 31 weeks or so, or any time during pregnancy, can feel like they can't really take a deep breath. So the practice that we're doing, a heart opening practice, will really be opening the area, and we'll keep the intention to keep our awareness in our heart and our lung region and just this entire area. So now that you're in a more neutral state, your mind, your body, your breath is more neutral, we'll start by simply moving. So Natalie will start by sweeping her arms out to the sides and all the way up overhead. And then she'll exhale her hands down through heart center. So I'm going to have her do that about 4 more times. Just moving in a way that supports that smooth quality of breath, that smooth ratio. And then pause with your hands at your heart, close your eyes, gently tuck your chin, and take this moment to set your own intention for practice. And then you can open your eyes and rock forward to hands and knees. So we'll be in tabletop position, and we'll do a couple rounds of dynamic Chakravakasana. So as you inhale, Lead with the chest and extend the spine. As you exhale, rock back to child's pose. Knees can be as wide as you need for baby. Good. We'll do that about 5 more times. Each inhale, leading with the chest, starting to bring your awareness to that area even more. Each exhale, rocking back. And maybe you can bring your forearms and your forehead down just momentarily, releasing more fully. And then continue like that, smoothing out your breath. One more time. And then return to tabletop. Curl your toes under, and we'll come to downward dog. If you have any wrist discomfort, you can come to dolphin pose instead. Natalie, will you show dolphin pose quickly? Good. So your elbows are right under your shoulders. And then walk your feet in closer and lift your hips up. Good. And then release your head. So if downward dog is uncomfortable on the wrists, come to this posture instead. And then Natalie, if you want to do downward dog, you can. Good. If it's your first down dog of the day, you can pedal your feet and just ease your way into this sway if you need to. Move any way that feels good. And then we'll take 2 more breaths here and just find some steadiness, some stillness. Breathe into the heart. Feel the lungs opening, full of breath. And then when you're ready, come back down to hands and knees. So from here, we'll come to Vashisthasana, which is side plank posture. So let's start by kickstanding the left shin out, and then step way back with the right foot. Bring your wrist right under your shoulder, and if you'd like, you can open up toward the sky. We'll hold this posture for several breaths. Again, steady ratio of breath. So you might stay right here. Or if you're feeling really strong today, you can lift the back leg up to about the height of the hip, and then kind of re-stabilize. Take 2 more breaths. And your gaze can either be up at your thumb or just straight in front of you, whatever's most comfortable for your neck. And then on your exhale, return to tabletop. You might let your hips sway a little bit. Just let them rock. Let baby move away from your spine. And then we'll do the second side. So kickstand your right shin out, left foot toward the back of the mat. And go ahead and open up. And we'll be here for a couple of breaths. And as you do this posture, see if you can breathe evenly into both sides of the lungs and both sides of the body. So you get even more space throughout here. Feel the breath moving into the back of the body more fully. And if you'd like, you can lift your back leg up to the height of the hip. Here, 2 more breaths. And then release back to tabletop. and find a comfortable seat once again. Grab a strap, or if you don't happen to have a yoga strap, you can just use a belt or even a scarf, a thin scarf. You can turn to face the front again. So you'll take the jingly end of your strap, if that's what you have, right in your hand, and then find about the length of your wingspan. And we'll start just by going over your head and all the way behind you, excuse me. And then over and forward. And if you find that you're hitting the top of your head, make the wingspan a little bit shorter. Make sure your arms stay straight as you're doing this, so that the movement is in the upper arm bone, right in the shoulder girdle. You can try to keep that 1-to-1 ratio of breath, and then you can move the arms as fast or as slow as you'd like in this. So if you'd like to get a little more heat, you can go a little quicker, and you'll notice that you start to get warm pretty fast as you're doing this. You can soften your face, your jaw. Probably do this for about a minute. Last time, pause with your hands, or the strap, I should say, behind you. And then from here, we'll telescope the arms. So start by bringing the left arm up in the air, or whichever arm you'd like to. And then you'll bring that arm around and forward, so the strap comes in front of you. And then the other arm comes up and back. In this one, we keep the arms straight again. Just keep telescoping around. And find a steady gaze. Do that a couple more times in this direction. And then you'll pause the next time you reach the back. And then if you can remember which arm you had first, up, switch it. And then continue. So you bring that arm forward and around, and then up and back. So we'll do that for about 30 more seconds. Try to keep those shoulder blades soft as you move and relaxed. Maybe 2 more times. And then release. Set your strap to the side. And just take a moment to feel and to notice where the breath and the attention, where the energy is in the body. And now, Natalie, I want you to come back to tabletop position. And we'll do a chaturanga preparation from here. So we'll be building strength in the area that supports the heart and supports the lungs and the breath. So once you're in tabletop, I want you to shift your torso forward about another inch. And then try to keep that open chest position. Keep the back of your head lined up with the back of the pelvis. And then snuggle baby in a little bit so you get more space in the back. Keep this alignment and then bend your elbows maybe just an inch. Come down into chaturanga. Yep, alter it any way you need to. So just bending a little bit. Inner arms try to stay in along the body. We'll just do a couple of these. And resist the urge to let baby drop down. You don't have to go down all that far. And then rest in child's pose for a couple of breaths. If you have a bolster at home or a pillow, you can bring it under your chest and your head. Let's scoot it down a little bit more. So this can give you a little bit more support if you're feeling uncomfortable in child's pose. And then you can direct your awareness and your breath into the back of the heart. When you're ready, come on up. And then make your way to a standing forward fold. Take your time. You might come through downward dog, or you can just come right into it and then fold forward. So your feet can be wider than hip width apart, and your knees can be bent here. Give yourself some room for baby, and then we'll do some half lifts. So as you inhale, you want these? Yeah. As you inhale, if you have blocks, you can bring your fingertips to the blocks or even to your seat. And as you exhale, fold all the way forward and release the head down. Knees soft. Let's do that a couple more times. And again, keeping the chin a little bit tucked so you have some space here. And then as you exhale, release. 2 more times. Last one. This time as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Bring baby close to your spine. And as you inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, release your hands. Just close your eyes for a moment. And then we'll move into a warrior 1 sequence. So let's have the right foot forward and then step the left foot back. And then widen your stance. So wider stance versus longer stance. Oops. It's a short stance and it's wide. So as you inhale, bend the right knee and sweep your arms forward and up. We'll stay in this position and move the arms dynamically. As you exhale, bend your elbows to the height of your shoulders and draw them back in space gently. Each inhale, bring the arms forward and up. Exhale, bend and draw them back in space, like you're cracking a nut between your shoulder blades. Do that a couple more times. Stay rooted in your left heel. Last one, dynamically. And then we'll hold, so you choose the arm position that best opens your chest. And we'll hold here for a couple of breaths. As you inhale, straighten your front leg, straighten your arms up overhead, and as you exhale, step to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your heart or down to your sides, and just pause for a moment. And then we'll do the second side. So we'll step the right foot back, short stance, and then widen the feet. As you inhale, bend the front knee, sweep your arms forward and up. And then move the arms dynamically. So bend the elbows, draw them back in space. And continue like that. Make sure you stay really rooted through the outer edge of the back foot and through the heel. Let your tailbone be heavy. And just imagine drawing baby closer in toward your spine. One more time dynamically. And then we'll hold for a couple of breaths in the position of choice, arm position of choice. Steady your gaze. And smooth out the breath. As you next inhale, straighten your front leg, bring the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, step to the top of the mat, bring the hands to the heart, and just pause and feel. We'll do another standing sequence, preparing for a half moon posture. So let's start by stepping the left foot back. So this is a longer stance, a normal longer stance. And then spin open to warrior two. So she'll be facing away from you. The gaze is over the right middle finger. And then grounding down through the outer edge of the back foot. And just see if you can wiggle your toes a little bit. See if your arch can gently lift so you're not collapsing on that arch and collapsing your ankle. And take 2 more breaths. As you exhale, snuggle baby in. And on your next inhale, reverse your warrior. So right arm comes up, nice and long. As you exhale, bring the right forearm to the right thigh, find extended side angle. So you don't need to go into the full version of this unless you'd like to. And then just like when we were in that side plank, see if you can find length through both sides of the torso. And breathe evenly on both sides of the body. And if this position isn't comfortable for your neck, you can always bring your top hand straight up toward the sky. Last breath here. As you exhale, bring your left hand to your hip. And when you're ready, hop the back foot forward a couple inches and bring your hand to the block. So if your right hand is forward, then the block will be at about 1 o'clock. And it's forward about a foot in front of your foot. And when you're ready, you can bend and come right into it. You just have to adjust the block so that you get lots of length in your spine. You can keep your hand on your hip, and the outer edge of the back foot is parallel to the sky. You can even spread your toes and just feel like you're grounding and rooting, spreading the earth away with your feet and spreading that back wall away with your lifted foot. Okay, so we'll take 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, bring your top hand down to the block and just come into a forward fold position. Take a couple moments there, maybe sway your hips a little bit again. Make sure your feet are parallel, the outer edges of the feet or thereabouts. Soft knees. And then you can bring your hands to your hips, bring your hands to your belly, whatever is most comfortable, and come on up. How do you feel? Great. Let's do side number 2. So we'll step the right foot back. Long stance, preparing for warrior 2. And the back toes are angled in a little bit, and the gaze is over the left middle finger. So we'll take a couple of breaths here. Exhale fully. As you inhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm comes up. And as you exhale, bring your forearm to your thigh. Extended side angle. So remember, you can choose where your upper arm lands, either right up overhead or rotating at the shoulder. Bring the upper arm next to the ear and then palm down. So as we transition into half moon, bring the top hand back to your hip. And then you can kind of hop the back foot forward a little bit, bring your hand to the block. So this is about 11 o'clock from your left foot. And then step on up, root down the same time that you're rooting back. So you're spreading open rather than just trying to hold yourself up. If you'd like to, you can bring the fingertips up toward the sky, and gaze can either be down toward your hand, straight in front of you, or up toward the sky, whatever's most comfortable for your neck. Keep spreading the back toes. Perfect. And we'll take one more breath here. As you exhale, bring the right hand down to the other block now and step forward to Uttanasana, forward fold again. And just take a couple moments, adjust here, maybe sway the hips, bend the knees deeply, just let yourself rock, let your head hang. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips again, gently tuck the chin, and as you inhale, come up. We'll come into a wide-legged posture now. So step your right foot way back and then turn to the long end of the mat and turn your toes in a bit so your heels are out a little. As you inhale, your arms can come out to shoulder height. And as you exhale, go ahead and fold forward. We'll move dynamically. So this is a place where you can use your blocks again if you'd like more height. Make sure you place them under your shoulders, kind of below your head. And as you inhale, find your half lift, so you don't have to come up super high. Keep your neck long. As you exhale, bend the elbows and fold forward. Or fingertips can be on the ground, palms can be on the ground, whatever works for you. Take a couple more of those. Each inhale, get long. Feel the back of the body engage. As you exhale, release fully. Continue just like that. And in this posture again, see if you can wiggle your toes so that your arches aren't collapsing. Last one. And then fold forward and release your head. So you can be in this wide-legged forward fold with your support for a couple of breaths. If this is not comfortable, you can walk your hands forward. Natalie, will you show wide-legged downward dog? So otherwise you can come to wide-legged downward dog. So you walk the hands out at least a foot, maybe 2. So you find that long angle from your wrists to your sitting bones again. Broadening the upper back, spreading the sitting bones. And really spreading the fingers even more than you think you can. So this posture, if you're comfortable, you could hold between 5 and 10 breaths. And we'll just do a couple more breaths. On your next inhale, walk your hands under your shoulders. Take a half lift again. And then as you exhale, walk your hands to the top of the mat through a lunge and then come to tabletop position. And take another couple rounds. You can either do that Chakravakasana, moving from tabletop to child's pose, or if you'd like, you can do that big circle with the hips. So you choose, Natalie, whatever you want to do. This is like a little experimental, exploratory movement. And as you do this, if this is the one that you choose, you can let your shoulders loosen up, bend the elbows. Yeah, just experiment. And then take the circles the other way. You can even come up onto your fingertips or make fists. And then come to a neutral tabletop position. And now we'll come over, so just kind of flip over onto your seat. And then bring your hands behind you, so your feet will go that way, head goes this way. Feet out in front of you and your hands behind you. And you can walk your hands away from you a little bit. Good. So as you bend the elbows, keep your shoulders down away from your ears. And then inhale, press into the palms, chest lifts. So exhale, bend, good. Keep the chest open, and inhale, lift. We'll just do a couple more. So we're building the front of the body as we did our chaturanga prep. We want to even that out on the back and build strength for our heart, our lungs, strength for our breath, and so we can fully be nourished and be vital. And then come up to a seat. Bring your feet wide, feet on the floor. Bend your knees. And then bring your feet up closer to you. Wrap your arms around your shins, and then just lift up and open. Let your pelvis tilt forward, and let your spine be long. Take a couple breaths like that, kind of like a seated child's pose. And then release that. Come down to your side. We'll be making our way to our back. Make sure you go to your side first, unless you're still comfortable rolling down on your back. And then roll over. We'll set up for bridge posture. So this is where a block comes in handy again. You'll take your block and place it in between your thighs, the skinny way, and then just squeeze in on the block very gently. And before we move, just practice tilting the pelvis back so your tailbone scoops up a little, and then releasing to neutral. So you get that nice lumbar curve. As you exhale, tilt the pelvis back a little. Tailbone scoops. Inhale, release. Feel that lumbar curve. So we'll start by tilting the pelvis gently, and then go ahead and roll up to bridge pose. Your shins draw away from you. And as you exhale, slowly roll down vertebra by vertebra. Do that about 4 times. Resist the urge to clench your jaw or tighten in the area of the chest as you do this. Your neck is just gently stretching. You don't have to press your cervical spine down or your head down. And once you've finished, set your block to the side. Turn your heels out just a little. Let your knees fall together and rest for a breath. Or 2, or 3. And then we'll do a gentle counter pose to that. And that'll be our last piece on the floor. So let's do Urdhva Padasana. So bring your knees in. It's like Apanasana with the legs coming up. So as you exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands to your knees, and bring your knees in toward your armpits or your chest if you're not that far along. As you inhale, straighten your legs up toward the sky, flex the feet, and bring the arms overhead to the floor behind you. Continue like that. So exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, legs up, arms up overhead to the floor. Do that a couple more times. And if at any point you get uncomfortable on your back, you feel dizzy, lightheaded, just roll to your side. Take a couple of breaths there. Last one. Then bring your knees in toward your armpits. Rock a little side to side. Ease out any tension in your low back. And maybe you like to take a happy baby here. Or feel free to take a couple breaths doing anything you need to balance your practice. We'll be setting up for Queen's Chair, variation of Queen's Chair. So Natalie, roll to your side again. I'll have you come up. For this Queen's Chair, which is kind of a simplified Queen's Chair, you want to use either this bolster or a bolster like it, or a couple of pillows. And you'll place the bolster down. And then, let's see where, oh yeah. And a blanket or another pillow. So this is for your head. So she's going to bring her bum up pretty close to the bolster, just a little bit. Make sure there's a little room here. And then she'll lower her forearm down, so you can do one forearm and then the other, slowly coming down. And then if you have another prop that you can place on your knees, if you have any low back discomfort, you can place this under your knees. There are different variations to this posture. Is this one comfortable for you? Okay, and then once you get here, when you get comfortable, let your arms come out a little wider from the sides than you would in a regular Shavasana. Palms up so you can get that spreading and opening through the front of the body. And then you can close your eyes. And if this posture isn't comfortable for you, you can take any posture that works for Shavasana. So maybe you're still comfortable on your back. Maybe you're comfortable on either side. And you can use as many props as you'd like. So just make sure you're really, really comfortable as we're making our way into Shavasana. And once you've settled in, you can let go of any control of the breath now. Just let it be totally natural. feel your body surrender into the space, into your props, into your support. And as you do so, and you more fully relax, you can shift your awareness to that area that we've been focusing on. So shift your awareness to your heart once again. You feel that expanded or glowing sense of energy at the heart. And maybe even a sense of tenderness as you're able to soften. And then with your awareness at your heart, each time you inhale, imagine that there were a flame right at the center of your heart. And each time you inhale, feel or imagine or visualize that flame growing brighter. And each time you exhale, imagine that light spreading throughout the entire body. You can continue to do that until you feel like your entire being is being nourished and is vibrant with that light. Until you really start to feel more expansive and more open, more heart-centered. And at home you can stay here for as long as you'd like. And whenever you're ready, you can roll over onto either side. And then come all the way up to a seat. If you plan to do pranayama and meditation from here, make sure you take height under your hips. This concludes our piece on heart opening for prenatal mamas. Namaste.
Namaste.